Okay, this is a little vampire character I designed called Count Gary, and I just wanted to give him some movement. And so let's see what we got going on here. Okay, so I brought in his body without eyes or a cape or hair. Yeah. So I brought in his body from Krita, and it had a white background, and so I erased the background and around him. And so this is actually just a PNG image in here, and I had to scale it up a little. That's why you see that key. And so then I created a new column and drew his eyes just on frame 1. And then I created a column and drew his hair. And then I made a column and moved it all the way to the left, which put it underneath everything else. And I called it cape. And I actually drew the cape in here. I just thought, like, it just seemed easier than trying to erase all around the cape and stuff. So let's go ahead and rig the cape. So I'm gonna hide some of the stuff. And so this is just a Toonz raster level. And we're gonna select it and come up here to the top and go to the plastic tool or X on your keyboard and create mesh. You get this little window, and if we zoom in, we can see it created this mesh around our image. And if we adjust the slider, this will make the mesh more dense, and this will make it more light. So more verts, less verts. And you can actually go in here and adjust these edges and verts, and I'll show you how to do that in just a second. So let's find something that looks kind of decent. I don't want it too thick. It bogs down the computer, but if you don't have enough, then it can be real jaggedy. And mesh margin pixels, this will determine this edge away from it. So if we change this to 20, you see that it covers more of the image. And I find that 5 works pretty well. And let's hit apply. And delete, I'm going to delete the old one. And so now we could come in here if we wanted to, and we come up here to edit mesh. And now I can click on an edge and, like, say we could right click and swap edge, and this will turn it. So now it's horizontal. And so if you want to get a lot of these edges, you know, to go a certain direction, you can do that. Or you can click an edge, right click, and collapse edge. We could do that. And you can always go in here and click a vert and move it over like this if you need to. Okay, so you could kind of clean up your mesh. And this is a lot like working in 3D, you know, like with 3D meshes. So like this edge could come along, and then I could kind of straighten it out. And this one, you know, we could have it come a little more like that. So you can get pretty nitpicky with this. But, you know, if you have like an arm with like certain joints in it, like this edge, I want to flip it. So let's swap edge. It just makes more of a nice clean line across here. Okay. And you can do it with the vertical too. Like if we want this line to come down, we could kind of straighten these up, and it'll just kind of make it clean. You know, it'll just make it bend a little bit nicer in the long run. Okay, and then like we could come in here and right click split, and this will add a vert. If we want this to start coming up. Okay, so that edge comes down, so let's collapse that one, and let's collapse that one and see what we get. Okay, so it just takes some manipulating, you know, some practice. Just play around with it. You could have all of these go the same way, or you could have like this edge come up and zigzag, you know, so like this one we could do swap. So now we're starting to zigzag our edges like this, which can make for some nice folds in the mesh. And like this one could go the opposite direction. Okay, as it comes up. So you have a lot of control over this. Okay, I'm not going to clean all this up. For this cape, it's so simple. I'm just going to leave it like this. I just wanted to show you how you can kind of manipulate some of these verts to get what you want. Okay, so let's go back up here to build skeleton. And we're going to click at the top of the cape, and we're going to create 4 bones. Down like that. And you can always move them if you need to. If you're not happy with them. Okay, so now if we come up here to animate, it's already ready to be animated. See, we can start moving this, which is pretty cool. And when you hit that create mesh, it creates a new column, and this is what your mesh is on. And this is what your verts are on, which I call bones. OpenToonz calls them verts. And so like this mesh, we can grab this little handle right here and pull it down the whole length of our animation, however long we want to animate it. Okay. So now we can come up here and click this vert, and we can set a key. And I want to make sure global key's on. Okay, so now we can go through and start animating this. So let's say we'll just go down like 4 frames. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's just swing it over like this. We'll come down, come back. Now let's go quick, but maybe not as far. Let's come down, bring it up. And now let's give it time to settle. And this is just kind of more like straight ahead animation. So now we can come back. I know I want one more in here before I get to the end. Okay, so now I can come up here, click this key, Control C, and come down here to my last frame and Control V. So now it should loop pretty well. So let's hit play and see if it's doing what we want. Okay, not bad. I think that first up is a little quick, so I'm just gonna select this key and move it down. Just kind of get some of these. And so we can check the curve. Okay, so we can come up here to Windows Function Editor, and it's gonna open this window, and you want to make sure and have the column you're on. So my mesh is called CP mesh. And so I'm going to click the stage just to deselect. I'm going to click it twice just to deselect everything. And collapse these down and find my CP mesh right here, and plastic selection, and this will show all the verts in your rig. Okay, and now let's click this little button right here, and you're going to see all your curves in this window. So let's go to we're animating vert 1, So let's click here to deselect everything and then click vert 1. And just want to make sure everything else is deselected. There we go. Okay, so this is our curve. And so we can come in here, and if I scrub through, this is the path it's taking up to that key right there. So like if I select this vert and pull this handle down, now it's going to go back the opposite direction before it comes up. Do you see that? So it can kind of give it an anticipation without setting a key. Okay, so let's undo that. And so you can drag these handles out and slow out of this. And if you don't see the handles, you can click right here, your path, right click, ease in, ease out, and then right click, speed in, speed out. Now we have these handles where we can adjust it. Now, it's a lot like animating in 3D. So if you've ever done that, this is one way to kind of get that 3D feel. Okay, and kind of manipulate the curves. I'm just going to come down here. Let's change this. Okay. Okay, so let's hit play and see how it feels now. Yeah, I kind of like that. And so what you can do is when you come in here to the other verts to start animating them, it doesn't have to be on the same keys. So like if I come down here, let's just animate this one. Okay. So it's swinging up. So let's drag it back this way. And then see how it automatically went? That's because we have a key set right here, and it's trying to get back to that pose. So I moved it on frame 6 and it's trying to get back to this pose at 8. Okay, so what we can do is come into the function editor. And we can go to this vert down here, deselect that one. Okay. And now we can see the path that it's taking. See, it's trying to get back up to that pose. So we can delete that. And we could go through here and delete all of these too. Just so it's a clean path. There's no animations on it. Okay. So I'm gonna try to show you what it looks like over here. So it's gonna drag, and then as it comes back, we're gonna flip it this way and see it added a key way up here. I'm gonna zoom out a little. And let's make sure this is set to speed in and speed out. Okay. And I'm just going to double check my preferences and make sure that's what we're on. Oh, speed in, speed out. Okay. Okay, so it's coming down and then gonna come back, and then it's gonna flap and then flap back this way, and then maybe up like that. Then we could just kind of have it flutter as it comes down like that, and then comes back. And I can drag right here. Okay, so see how my curve got a little wonky? So I can come in here and fix it like that. Just kind of smooths out the action. So let's drag it back this way. We're almost to the end. Okay. Get one more in here like this. And then this last frame we can copy and paste again. Okay. So let's come up here and copy. And here, paste. And if you want that last frame different, like you could change it and then just copy this one and paste it up here. Let's see how that feels. Whoa. Okay, let's unhide the body. So, wind's kind of blowing his cape. Okay, and you can always go in here and manipulate these keys. You can just select one and move it to change the timing. You can delete keys. Okay, so let's move on to the eyes. So for the eyes, what I did is I went in here and drew the eyes on frame 1. And then I just came down to frame 2 and drew another set of eyes, which they're starting to close. And then I went to frame 3 and drew them closed. And then I deleted those off of the column, but you still have them. They're under Windows level strip, and you can see the eyes. Here they are. 1, 2, 3. So now I can call on these eyes anytime I want for my animation. So I came back over here, and then I came down to, well, let's just change this to 1. Okay, so now they're all just that first eye. So I came down here to like frame 27. I double click and hit 2, and they're starting to close. And I just wanted to hold that for 1 frame. So right here I did 3, and I wanted to hold that for 2 frames. So on the next frame I did 3, and now back to 1. So we have 1 all the way down to 27, and then 3, and then back to 1. And that's our eye blink. So let's come up here and hit play. Oop. Okay, and then the same way I did the cape, I did for the hair. So I just drew 2 little lines and created a mesh, put some bones in it, and then went through and just kind of wiggled them like through the whole animation. Oh, and the other thing I did is I added some text. So I drew the text on frame 1, colored it, and then I just traced over it. So if I turn on onion skinning, I kind of see it, but I didn't try to match it exactly. I wanted this kind of wobbly feel. And then I went to frame 3 and drew it again. And then I just repeated frames 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And I held each one for 4 frames. So it gives it kind of this wiggly. And you could have a faster wiggle, you know, if you want to come in here and change this to, like, say on 2s. Now it's going to be real fast. See that? Which, that looks cool too. I'm going to undo that. And then I created a final column and did my signature, and I didn't animate it. I just held it over the 108 frames. And that's our little vampire Gary. So anyway, have fun, happy animating, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.